Luke chapter 18, verse 1 through 8. I will read. One day Jesus told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up. There were a judge in a certain city. He said, who neither feared God nor cared about people. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly saying, give me justice in this dispute with my enemies. The judge ignored her for a while, but finally he said to himself, I don't fear God or care about people. But this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she is wearing me out with her constant requests. Then the Lord said, learn a lesson from this unjust judge. Even he rendered a just decision in the end. So don't you think God will surely give justice to his chosen people who cry unto him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will grant justice to them quickly. But when the Son of Man returns, how many will he find on the earth who have faith? Hello, this is Apostle Karen Proctor, and I want to just share this story with you on the widow that she needed the judge to stand up on her behalf. And as we can tell by the verses that I just read, that this judge, he was a wicked judge. He didn't like God. He didn't like people. But this widow, she was very persistent in her request. It did not matter to her that the judge did not regard God or his people. But what mattered most to this widow is that her case was heard by the judge. So we can learn from this widow how to be persistent in prayer, how to have faith that when we pray, that we ought to believe that we're going to be granted those things in which we pray for. Why else would we pray if we don't believe that God will answer us? Notice Jesus says in verse 7, I want to read that again. It says, and the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said, and shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry unto him day and night, though he bear alone with them? So if this wicked judge can answer, what do you think about the just judge? The just judge in heaven. He would answer you, don't get weary, be persistent, keep the faith, have faith that God is going to answer you no matter how trying the situation that's set before you seem. You got to push until something happens. So what I learned about prayer as it relates to this widow that cried out to the unjust judge is to never give up. And delay does not mean denied. God is not deaf. Continue to have faith in the Lord. Stand firm. If the wicked judge answered, so will God. He will never be outdone. So we have to tarry until we see the results that we want, like the widow did. Now, just look back on it. If the widow became weary, she would have never got the answer to her prayers. She would have never gotten the results that she wanted. And I know sometimes it seems like you have been praying for a long time. And sometimes it can just be your imagination. Maybe it seemed just that long because what you're going through. But stand strong. Know that if the wicked judge can answer, what about the just judge? It is God's delight to give you the desires of your heart. No matter what you're faced with, God say he wants to give you the desires of your heart. No matter how hard it seemed like your oppressors have been oppressing you, be persistent. Now, being persistent does not mean that God doesn't hear. It doesn't mean that God has not heard you the first time. Trust me, God has heard you the first time. Sometimes there can be interference, things that's going on in the unseen that you are not even aware of. But know for sure that God will answer you. The motto of this story is have faith, be persistent, and if the wicked judge can answer, know for sure that the just judge will answer. Again, this is Karen Proctor, just coming to encourage you in your walk with Christ, in your walk with your prayer journey. There may be some things that you have had on your prayer list for a long time, but I want to encourage you, just begin to thank God for the answer, and before you know it, you will get the desires of your heart. This is Karen Proctor. You can contact me at ms.karenproctor@gmail.com if you need somebody to stand in agreement with you with your prayer request. Drop me your prayer request and I will earnestly stand in agreement with you. God bless you until we meet again.